to my 4th year at Roosevelt, and 3 years ago, I guess, when I started, I had about 30 who were pretty involved. And then every year we've grown. We went from 30 to 70 that first year, and then we went from 70 to 80, and we're now at about 100 who are actively participating in Drama Club and 4 different shows throughout the year. So currently in this production of what we call Baba Lies, Bad Auditions by Bad Actors, and 100 Lies, there are 60 who've been involved for actors and crew. I think it's really the welcoming environment. I have been really intentional about our values of being kindness and inclusion, and I have spread that out into the drama club as well. The officers take that on, and they're the ones to go out and be like, you don't have a place, you're coming with me today, we're going to drama club, you're gonna love it. We've also promoted a lot within the theater classes, and they've really enjoyed those theater classes, so then they start coming in, and it's really neat seeing them take what we've been doing in class and apply it after school. There's so many things. So we have heads in each tech area, and our tech areas are sound, lights, costumes, props, set, painting, publicity, and makeup and hair. So each of those, I started, when I first began, I had people become heads of each area who have done it for a while. And now we are having heads in training. So the heads are typically juniors and seniors, and then the heads in training are freshmen and sophomore. So we meet every week on Fridays. We have our production meetings, and so then the heads in training start to understand what it takes to become a leader, and they do it for a lot of different shows. And a lot of our heads are like, give me every single show, I want to be a part of it. We also have stage managing as well. That's a huge, huge thing. It's brand new. It's never been done at Roosevelt before. And the last few years I was revitalizing the talent show, and we have been growing so much as a drama club. I said, we need something new. So I said, what is a good way to really kick it off with student leadership? And I thought, let's do a student directed performance. I wasn't sure how many we would have, so I had an application process for juniors and seniors who were interested in directing. And the reason I picked the juniors and seniors is because most of them have been with me for a long time, so they can apply their knowledge. And I had about 15 who decided they wanted to apply. And out of those 15, there were 4 that really stood out to me for the application. So I decided to pair them up, and I think that was one of the best things to do. They had somebody to talk to and bounce ideas off of. And then over the summer, I mentored them. So we would meet at Scooters, and we would, like, this is what you're gonna do for prepping for the lights and the sound and the costumes, and this is how you block. And so they had to have everything ready. They had to have all of their audition materials ready by that first day of school, because in 2 days was the audition. And so then I actually acted for them, and I had them take notes the way I would. I talked to them through how to do auditions, and then we casted it all together, and I put out the cast list, and they've been blocking. And every day I will watch them direct, and I'm taking notes on them directing, and then we debrief at the end of theirs. And so we talk about what went well, what can improve, what to look for, and they've really taken leadership within all of this. And they said it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but they said that this has really changed their perspective of what acting and theater is altogether.
I really do like Roosevelt Theater. I joined my freshman year for the last show, Legally Blonde, and I would say I joined at a bit of a tense spot. There was a lot happening, but then I came back the next year for, I tried to be a part of all 4 of the shows, but I was too busy with work to be a part of the first talent show. But I was involved with A Christmas Story, I was involved with The Little Princess, and I was involved in Alice in Wonderland. And I can say I really do love the community here. Like, it's not hard to make friends here at all. I clicked, and I wanted to say I know about everybody in here. I'm getting to know the freshmen, so, and they're really enjoyable. I do like working with the freshmen. I love the cast too. It's just, we're really welcoming, and I feel like you could stop by not knowing anything about theater, and you could leave having a bunch of friends. Me and Ari Krabenhoft are working on 100 Lies, and that is more of our drama show. We have both a drama and a comedy. So the audition process was kind of like, do we think you could be a part of a comedy or a drama? And that was pretty straightforward. I do love Baba. I love everything about Baba. I think it's really funny. And I know some of the people in there, I know they can be really funny. Our show is more dramatic, and I do like working with the freshmen. It's very new, it's very unique, especially from a director, and I don't even know these people. So this is like a first glance at who they are, and just every step of the way I get to like them more and more, and just a lot more happier that they were casted for my show. The drama, I want to say, is more of like, it's a dramedy, so it's more funnier at first, but then it gets into the drama bits, and I just think it's shown really well so far. I feel like we've made Roosevelt Theater more known, whether that's through social media, hearing it on the morning announcements, or just wherever you are. I know there's posters hung up like all around the school, and I know especially on performing, like it'd be opening night and I'll walk out there and I will see how many people are actually coming to the shows. And I think that's also a really big influence. We like go out there, perform, and I think some people are like, this is really cool, and I agree, it is really cool. I never have really seen one of the shows from an audience perspective, but I get to see it from behind in the wings, and I think that's just as good, if not better. And we went to middle school and told them, hey, this is all what theater is about, and we ran through a scene from Baba, which I think they're actually doing right now, the exact scene, which I think is pretty cool. And we just told them to join, like, this is really cool, and I think over half the class that said they were going to Roosevelt was like, yes, let's do this. They think it's really cool, and I'm happy because I do see some familiar faces.
Roosevelt Theater's always been like, everyone always explains it as like a family, and I never really understood that like freshman year and getting into it, but like as I've been in more shows, I'm starting to realize that like everyone's there for each other, and we're all like a tight knit, and we all are like friends with each other, and we'll like, if someone's struggling with something, there's always people there like willing to help you out. And Blashik's really made it like, she's very helpful, so whenever you're really struggling with a scene, she can give you time and just have it like you and her working on the scene, and she's given really good feedback. And I think honestly, theater as a whole has helped me grow, like not only as an actor but as a person, because there's just been so many people like that have really like changed my life. My first ever play that I was in like was Our Place, and it was about this like dock and a bunch of people, how they used the dock for different like purposes. And I just kind of got introduced to a few people, and it was just like how the tech system worked for it, because I was a techie in that, and I learned like what the different areas were, and then some like memorable people I had to know. And for the next show we were doing was a one act, and we all voted that one cast would go to the state competition, and they would like compete against the others, and then there would be another cast that would stay at home and would do it for all of Roosevelt. And I auditioned for it. I wasn't really expecting to get like a big part or anything, but then when I auditioned, I got one of the lead male roles. And of like a really small cast, I was honestly kind of surprised, because like the only other acting that like Mrs. Blashik has seen me in was like the Theater 1 class I was taking. And so that really like stood out as like the first acting, and like people were so friendly to me, and like I was so scared, like I was literally shaking like first day that we were doing it. And some people, like I sat down with some juniors at the time, and they were telling me about like how they've had like how theater works and stuff, and it like really calmed my nerves, and it made it like a lot easier. And then ever since then, I've been like a full-time actor. Like I help around with tech when I can, but I like being on stage and being able to like show people the character. I think it's really fun being able to switch from like everyday school to then going on stage and getting to show people this like almost like side of me that like I can play a different character, and it's just been so fun, and I've met like some of my best friends in this. I'm co-directing with my other director, Bryn, and we kind of gave ourselves, like, I'm dealing with the actors kind of, and she's dealing with like the tech, like the props and like costumes and stuff, but we're both helping people like get used to how acting is. And we're like, I give more of like, I list off like, I'm like say what they do, and then Bryn's good at like showing them what to do. So she'll like get up on stage and show it a little better. It's kind of like a role model to look up to, so that they can know that there's always going to be somebody there doing it. So if they feel like embarrassed or anything, they'll know that like, well, there's an upperclassman doing this, so they'll feel a little bit better about it.
I got involved because a lot of my friends were already involved with theater, and I had seen all the friends they had made and how much fun they were having, and they actually invited me to join along, and so with the encouragement of my friends, I joined. I would do this again if I could, and I would do it even earlier. And I've even been considering of continuing it in college, and it's honestly been like an amazing journey. I've met so many of my closest friends now, and I've gained so much knowledge and experience that has really helped me with the real world. It's really exposed me with talking to people and branching out a lot, and especially with working with a team. I think it's really important working on your team building skills, and thanks to theater and the department here, I've really honed in on that, and it will help me a lot, especially when I go to college. It's definitely grown to be better than it was when we first began. I think now it's more of a community that has developed more diversity, and I think it's been very special, especially this year. I've been seeing a lot more connection, especially with lower classmen, and encouraging them to branch out, which I think is very important to me, since I used to be a lower classman that was a lot more shy, nervous, and I didn't have as many people besides the friends I have now that encouraged me to theater to help me get out of that shell. So from 100 Lies, it's a dramedy, so you definitely expect to be more immersed with the emotions of the characters, whereas Bad Auditions by Bad Actors is a comedy, and you still will be just as immersed in the story, but you will be sharing more laughs and smiles, whereas 100 Lies really puts you through the feels of the emotions, and it's been really interesting seeing the differences in how people act in these shows, and especially during auditions, you can really tell of who was stronger in either drama or stronger in comedy, or just strong all around. And I think also in that perspective, I've been able to learn, me and my peers have been able to learn more about ourselves of what we would fit better in. And it's been a very interesting experience.
As a kid, I was a very active kid. My parents needed to put me in gymnastics to make sure that I could get all my energy out, because I didn't want to deal with that. But when I got to high school, I was very shy. I had massive stage fright, and I was recommended to join drama because I wanted to get over that stage fright. When I first walked into that theater, I talked to Blaszczyk for the first time, and it changed something talking to her and learning about this department. And the first time I ever stepped on that stage to act, I knew that's where I wanted to be. I'm the head of the paint department, and I do set for most of our productions, and really putting together all those sets and painting is it's really fun to do, because it's really about the socialness of it. I mean, I love painting and I love putting together the sets, but having those people to talk to and to communicate and be a family with, because dude, theater's like a family. It's really, really fun. Last year, we were informed that Blaszczyk, our director, would be sending out a form to sign up for a student directing program. I had never heard of anything like this before then, and I decided that I wanted to be in it, and Blaszczyk had recommended me for it. She had pulled me aside and been like, you should sign up for this. So I was like, okay, I'll sign up for this. So I signed up with, and I convinced Evie to sign up with me, who is my other student director, and we got in. It was a big joy. Originally, Blaszczyk only wanted 2 directors, but because there were a lot interested, she changed it to 2 shows with 2 directors each. And working with Evie Evie's been my best friend for a long, long time, running on 5 years now. And putting together a play with her has been the most delightful experience in my life in high school so far. Student directing has really, it's tough. It's really, really tough. But in the long run, I've learned a lot about public speaking, leading, and really putting together a show and meeting new people. It's been an amazing experience.
But it really is interesting because you go in not knowing what's gonna happen and you leave going like, I did that.
Being in this community, just saying that like it's changed my life I feel like it's not enough. I feel like this has genuinely like made me a better person, and it's like inspired me to like be out there and to go out and do stuff. And I think theater as a whole, especially with Mrs. Blaszczyk, she really shows that people can be like, you're not the person you can put on a front and you can be this like quiet kid in classes, but you can then find a community where you can show the real you, and you can show that like you're not just this kid that does his work and goes to school every day, that you're more than that.
I'm most looking forward to how strong the theater community grows and connects to one another, and I look forward to leaving theater to be a much more accepting and diverse place that it's already becoming.
Theater is like an intertwined web. It's when you enter, it's really hard to leave because you just make so many friends, and it feels like a second home. Theater has been my second home.
And scene.